More than 100 Russian diplomats have been expelled from Western countries from across the globe in response to the UK accusing Russia of being responsible for a military-grade nerve agent attack on Sergei Skripal and his daughter. President Donald Trump has offered to meet with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in the wake of the tensions between Russia and the globe. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claimed there was a lot of talk about a Cold War, about the situation being worse than it was during the classic Cold War, because then there were some rules, and some decency was observed. Jeremy Shapiro, a research director at the European Council on Foreign Relations, was asked by Sky News host whether the world was heading towards another Cold War. To Russia, Jeremy Shapiro warned of the consequences of a new Cold War between Russia and the West. He said, "I certainly hope not." Lavrov in his statement sort of indicates a sort of nostalgia you often hear in both the West and Russia for the stability of the Cold War. I don't remember the stability of the Cold War. The Cold War was an extraordinarily dangerous time in which we overspent trillions of dollars on our defense. In which we fought proxy wars all over the world and ed hundreds of thousands of people. In which we told our children that they were very likely to end a nuclear holocaust. That's a disaster for the world, I think, as well as for the United States and for Russia. I don't remember the stability of the Cold War. The Cold War was an extraordinarily dangerous time. Jeremy Shapiro, I really do think we need to think very hard about where we are heading with the Russians these days. The comments come after Vladimir Putin's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov accused Theresa May for resorting to open lies. He said, "I believe that our Western partners, I mean primarily the United Kingdom, the United States and some countries that blindly follow them, have cast away all decency. They are resorting to open lies, blatant misinformation." The UK expelled 23 Russian diplomats after Theresa May accused Russia of behind the horrific attack in Salisbury. Countries around the world joined Britain in expelling diplomats in a sign of unity against the actions of Russia. Moscow responded by deciding to expel 23 UK diplomats. Speaking on the Today program on Tuesday, Yevgeny Budinsky, a retired Russian lieutenant general, warned the fallout from the Salisbury attack could become worse than the Cold War. He said, "It is a Cold War. It's worse than the Cold War because if the situation will develop in the way it is now, I'm afraid it will end up in a very, very bad outcome. Worse than a Cold War is a real war. It will be the last war in the history of the mankind. Not the Salisbury poisoning but all the actions." You see the pressure from the United States, that you say the pressure is going to continue. What are you going to achieve? You are going to achieve the regime change. It's useless. You don't know Russians. The more external pressure, the more the society is solidified around the president.